You can't appreciate that this would happen. What more so, Aaron? Look at the weight differential. We've heard the reports with respect to Mr. Nichols and him weighing 140 pounds and being 6'3". Well, look for our own eyes at how big these officers are. And that certainly is going to play into the prosecution here. Just really hard to watch.
Incredibly hard to watch. And of course, 5 of them charged with second degree. And a lot of others, 9 or 10, we've counted coming in and out. We don't yet have charges for. We don't know where that will go, Don. As we're watching this, again, finally an ambulance pulling up here, Don, as we're all watching. This is still all playing out. Yeah. All of them standing around, the ambulance now pulling up.
And I'm wondering about the training of these officers and exactly what's the reason. John Miller, can you answer this question? What's the reason for these poll cameras? Who's watching these poll cameras? If you have an incident, obviously that's ongoing, and someone can see it somewhere. What's the reason? Is someone watching these cameras? Why wouldn't they send help? Why wouldn't they get on the horn and say something is wrong here? What's going on?
So generally, someone isn't watching these poll cameras. Generally, the poll cameras are there to record things in areas where they're having crimes. And then once you have the report of the crime, you can rewind the camera and say, do we see a suspect? Do we have the actual crime? And so on. That's the primary purpose. What's interesting about the poll cameras, and we'll have to go back over this later, is at the beginning of it, you see it's far away, then you see it pans over and zooms in. We're going to have to figure out, was someone on the pan, tilt, zoom other end of that camera?
Why did it zoom?
Or is it a thing where they located the camera, the incident's in the background, and they blew it up to make it clearer? That's something we'll have to get to the bottom of. But I think when you look at some of the things that Lieutenant Porcher has said and some of the questions that raise here, you come back to the same 3 places. It's a highly specialized unit. What was the selection process for these officers? Because you're supposed to be getting the best of the best. What was the added training beyond their normal police training, because they're going to be involved in crimes in progress and armed people? And then the thing we keep coming back to, which is, this is something Chief C.J. Davis has talked about, span of control. Span of control in normal life is 1 sergeant to 8 or 10 cops, and you're supervising your team. Span of control for high-end plainclothes operations targeting violent crime and guns, that should be 1 to 3, 1 to 4, tops 1 to 5. And here we have 5 police officers, then 8, and no supervisor on the scene. What would the difference be? The difference would be not that you would have a ranking person to supervise an act of police brutality. The difference would be you would have the level of supervision and experience for someone to very early on say, okay, what do you got? That translates to, how did this start? What's it about? Well, it was traffic, sir. Okay, so this is traffic only? We're not chasing a stick-up man. We don't have a pound of narcotics. We don't have a gun in the car. So let's wind this thing down. Let's wind this thing down now. None of that occurs. This is an incident that is entirely self-propelling, and that's a problem, and one that the chief recognized. She said, I have a span of control problem. We don't have enough supervisors.
John Miller, everyone there, stand by in New York. We're live here in Memphis, Tennessee, and we're going to go live to our colleague Sarah Seidner, who was at the scene where Tyre Nichols was beaten by police. She's going to show us exactly where the police beating happened. Plus this, we are watching protests right now in cities all across the U.S. These are images that you're going to look at in just moments. There it is. WUSA, our affiliate there out of Washington. We'll be back in just a moment live here on CNN with our special coverage of AC 360.
If we don't get it,